Hello, we are celebrating 30 years of SharpNEC brand in Poland, but we are not alone. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Mariusz Orzechowski, Sharp NEC, previously NEC in Poland.
Hello, I'm Roger McArdell and I'm Chief Technical Officer at Ashton Bentley and now part of Kramer AV.
Hello, my name is Gerd Kaiser. I'm Product Manager for Installation Projectors and Digital Cinema Projectors in Sharp NEC Europe.
Hi, I'm Martin. I'm Product Manager for Sharp NEC for EMEA.
Hi, my name is Jörg Langeheine. I'm from Matrox Video and I'm an account manager for Central Europe and Poland.
Pleasure to be together with you. Guys, so the first question is, what did you do 30 years ago as SharpNEC brand started here in Poland? So could we start with you, Mariusz?
Of course, yeah. So 30 years ago, it was the pleasure for me to start operation of NEC, that time in Poland, in Krakow. And from that time, we start to create this nice history until today. Today, our name is Sharp NEC. That time was only NEC.
So 30 years ago, I was actually an end user. I used to be AV manager at British Telecommunications in the UK. Back in those days, when we did presentations, it was very, very, very large CRT projectors and the old 35mm projectors as well. So clearly things have changed an awful lot in 35 years.
For me, it's very easy. I gave technical trainings in NEC at this time. It was very interesting. I gave the trainings for printers, then for displays, and also for the first projectors. At this time, the first LCD projectors came up. This means there was a change from the big, large CRT projectors to the small and compact LCD projectors. A very low resolution at this time, but first projectors.
And I belong to the younger generation. 30 years back, I was still in school, but already in touch with technology. At that time, I remember I was hacking the first computer of my father that he had at home. And it was fun, but it leads me to where we are today with technology, with security. It has been a fun road since 30 years back to today.
How old were you?
I was 7.
And already hacking. Okay, good start. 30 years ago, I was actually studying at economical engineering and starting my first part-time job at an IT company who did direct shopping and merchandising. So it was my first time actually working on PCs and systems, but as you remember, big CRTs and not these nice LCDs. So again, a lot has changed since then.
Guys, do you remember, yeah? Maybe you're 7, or maybe you remember something. What important happens in the year 94 from technology side? Yeah, what's really important was in that year? Yeah, I do not mean our companies and so on. Just in 94. No, I will tell you. Internet. It was invented internet. Yeah, so please imagine today. World without internet, yeah?
And first PCs, as I mentioned, I was hacking the first passwords of my father, and internet was one of the things. First software platforms, first operating systems came that year and were developed, being one of the main components of our life today. So for technology, yes, internet and software, that was a big step back then.
If you had 7, yeah, maybe you can remember if your parents was so nice to you and bought it to you, it was the premiere of PlayStation. So it was the first time that PlayStation also came to the market 30 years ago.
We did not have a PlayStation. This was my father's PC. And believe me, he did not want us to go there.
So now we have 2024. And what big challenges are you facing last year? Because the 1924 is ending.
From my perspective, it was, of course, a lot of changes, a lot of challenges that we had as every year. We are in the, let's say, transition periods from NEC to Sharp. We are Sharp NEC from a few years, and we are changing our products. So 2024 for us is also one of the first year that we have also the product with the Sharp brand. Not only NEC, but we are changing the brands. But I think also Gerd or Martin can tell something more. But I think this was for us as a company one of the biggest changes this year.
I think from our perspective, there's two words really: scale and globalization. We're a company that manufactures meeting room technology. When I first started 30 years ago, I worked in a building that had 6,000 people, and it had 2 AV rooms in the entire building. Today, just about
Which city?
that was in London. That was in London. Yeah, that was that was the headquarters of one of the UK's biggest companies, and there was 2 AV rooms, and that was it. There was nothing else. There was the odd overhead projector floating around, but that was it. And of course, today we've got to the point where every single meeting room needs to have equipment in it, and of course, it's all unified comms as well. So we're all doing Teams and Zoom day in, day out. So the real thing is scale, just delivering the amount of technology that's now being demanded. But also it's on a global basis. So we've got large companies that want a completely uniform customer experience, no matter where their end users go in the world. And that actually is quite a challenge. It is huge. Yeah, it's also, don't get me wrong, it's a massive opportunity. And for the companies that do it well, you know, they're going to be very, very successful. But it is a mammoth task. It really is.
I agree with Mariusz. For me, is also the biggest change this year that we are getting the first projector models are launched as Sharp now after 30 years of NEC projectors, and I'm really happy and proud to see that the quality, the innovation, and everything behind the scene is exactly the same as we had in NEC. It's, by the way, also the same development team. This means it has to stay at the same level, and we are getting 3 or 4 new projector models this year, and these are now Sharp branded and are really great.
Mariusz, as you mentioned, 30 years has done a lot. 2024, for me personally, I see, as I mentioned, 30 years back I was hacking PCs and it was something fun. Nowadays, the same topic has a totally different weight. Cybersecurity, the power that we see with computing and how this is being integrated to the solutions we offer. Now being 2 brands with all the strength that we have as 2 brands, that is what I've seen as the biggest revolution in our segment and what we represent as a strategy team creating these solutions for the markets. We see that it's no longer just a nice image that we want to transmit and to have on a display, on a projector, on an LED wall, but it's much more than that. It's the partners that we work with. It's how we distribute this content, how we create it, and get it in a safe way to the people, to the audience. So the disruption is not only the AV part of the industry, but the amount of IT, computing, and security, and all the layers in between that come up to this. So I think the biggest change and the biggest disruption is that this will continue to grow with buzzwords like AI in everyone's head, AI being part of our lives, creating images, creating texts for this. I think security and all of this being integrated to the solutions will change everyone's life.
Security and AI sounds strange.
Definitely, and that's why we need to focus on making products the safest possible way.
Yeah, I guess Matrox everybody knows from the 90s, where we got big with our Millennium and with T graphic cards, and not everybody really has realized that we have changed quite dramatically in the past years. So like 10, 15 years ago, we already started with first solutions for video over IP transmission. And a lot of companies on the market designed products for that, but mainly based on proprietary standards. And this is what I see, luckily this year, that we are pushing a new standard, open standard, since 2 years now. And the first projects have been realized, big projects where people really like and appreciate this new standard. And this is the way where I think the future will move to, like open standards, like companies, manufacturers working together and like offering a perfect solution for the customer and not like only what they can offer on their own. So really like open solutions. And this is, I think, what's coming up.
Jörg, if you said the standard communication today, I would like to go back once again, 30 years back. Yeah, what? Not only for you, for all of you guys. Yeah, maybe you are 7 old, maybe not. Yeah, what was that time? You remember your way of communication? Yeah, Which tools did you use at the time?
Actually, I can still remember because my first job offered me the first internet connection, and this was CompuServe, if you can remember that, with a modem with 9,600 baud. So it was like almost like smoke signs for the communication. But for me, it was like a first way to the open world, you know. And as you can see, the speed has dramatically changed.
Because I remember, of course, as you said, the first modems, of course, that sometimes, as you said, the speed was so fast that you can go for the coffee and come back, and then you are still dialing and getting connection after a few minutes, But of course, I think that usually we use the phones, standard phones, not mobile, of course, but standard phones, faxes, and so on and so on. It was the different times completely,
So I mentioned Teams and Zoom earlier on, and we take that so much for granted now. And you can get your mobile phone out and you can do a video call on your mobile phone. 30 years ago, and I was doing video conferencing 30 years ago, we didn't have the internet, so we had ISDN. Which was basically the flakiest technology ever known to man. And you had 6 ISDN channels, and when you wanted to do a video call, you dialed this up, and you could literally just watch the call going up and down. So when you had a senior manager, and it was only the senior managers who use the technology, you basically set the call up an hour before they were going to come in, and you'd get down on your knees and you'd pray to God that it was going to work, because if not, you generally got an earful from the manager. And it was terrible. And then you'd phone your counterpart in the other company. You'd spend an hour just trying to get this call actually running. And of course, once it was running, the quality was what they called CIF, Common Intermediate Format. So of course, we're used to high definition everything now, and that was a quarter of PAL. So 256 pixels wide. That's how small it was. So the quality was appalling. The latency on the audio was appalling, and the reliability was just off the scale in terms of how bad the technology was. That was 30 years ago, so we've come a very, very long way in that time.
Well, I take it one notch up. I'm from Argentina, and 30 years back, this happened in Argentina, and back there, it was one step behind. Even for landlines to call relatives, to call my aunt who was on the farm, you had to get in line and get on the schedule for a certain day, for a certain time, to even be able to place a call. Wow. So until we got internet, and I think everyone remembers the dialing, and if someone picked up the phone and you had that same line connected to the modem, you get the funny noise. I think the younger generations, younger than I, they don't even know that noise anymore. For them, it's for granted. You're on the mountain somewhere, you just pick up the phone, and you make a video conference with anywhere in the world. Or back then, it was one shared line for the whole household, and it was taking turns. So, yeah, we've certainly come this far.
Our sort of senior director at BT had a desktop unit. So actually on his desk, he had a desktop unit. What nobody realised is that was cabled to a rack of equipment in the corner of his office, which was then cabled to 2 more racks of equipment further down the corridor. So it took 3 racks of equipment to deliver a desktop video 30 years ago.
That's impressive.
Do you remember which year first time you got your first mobile phone?
Yeah, that would have been late 90s.
Of course, but for sure not 94, I think so. Maybe in UK it was different,
Yeah, so obviously working for a telephone company.
Okay.
In London.
But I remember
different words,
No, I remember being sent off to do a job with a mobile phone given to me by the phone company, and I had the phone and I had a bag of batteries. Because if you did a call, it lasted 5 minutes, and you'd have to change the battery.
Was bigger.
The battery, yeah. The phone was huge, but the batteries were bigger.
It was like suitcase,
Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
And even for the smaller ones, you had the battery attached at the back of the mobile phone being huge. I remember my mother being a doctor. She was one of the privileged people who got access to that technology in Argentina. And for her, it was, whenever we saw that, is what are you holding in your hand? It was huge. And nowadays, screen, battery, computing, everything integrated into one thin layer.
Yeah, I remember also when I got my first phone, it was about 1995, I think. 1995, yeah, could fit. This was an NEC phone, by the way. Yes, NEC was also selling phones at this time, and pretty good phones. It was really the first high-quality phone, and also very mobile. Not so mobile as today, for sure, but at this time, really, really mobile. I don't remember exactly the size. It was about 15, 20 centimeters in the height and just 5 centimeters thick. This means not so modern as the current ones, but not bad at this time. It was really great.
Jörg, do you remember?
For me, about the same, 95, 96, but also interesting maybe if you look at the differences between the phones back then and now. With the phones back then, they were heavy, they're big, but you could only like make a phone call. That's it. Maybe SMS you could write, but these days with WhatsApp and I don't know, Internet Explorer and all this stuff on it, really big change since then.
I got it first time in '96, and because in Poland maybe was a little bit later than Germany or previous telecommunication company in UK. Yeah, but. Also, I think I had NEC phone. Even in Poland, we didn't sell it. So in Poland, NEC was not offering the phones. We got a lot of questions, for Polish telecom operators. Can we buy it? Can we sell it? And so on, because it was different to all others, Nokia and so on. But it was decided that Poland is not supporting the time by NEC. But I still have the same number. It is one of the first numbers in Poland. The time. So if somebody is in my age, and is looking for my number, said, "Oh, wow, So this is really one of the first number here.
Jörg mentioned about projects. Are you involved in any exciting projects? Could you tell something about it?
I cannot say for my colleagues, but I think that the most exciting projects, unfortunately, sometimes we cannot tell. Yes. This is our problem in industry, because the largest projects we have some close that NDA whatever, that we cannot say. Or sometimes we cannot say because it's not finished, or this is not signed that we can make it public. So yes, I can say we are doing this year a lot of very big projects, but maybe it is too early to say. But only I can say that this year for us in Poland, for Sharp NEC is quite successful.
We have a number of very large a number of very large projects underway at the moment. So, our company's been going for about 14 years now. Obviously, Kramer itself has been going for 40 odd years, so much longer than us. But, we used to do projects. If we got a project of 5 or 6 meeting rooms, we were really happy. This year we're involved, and I can't say too much about it, but we're involved with one project where we're doing 2,000 rooms over 2 years. And that's kind of how things have changed. So, and it's all meeting room technology because that's all we do. So it's basically pretty boring meeting rooms, but it's all unified comms, obviously displays and the display stands and the tables and furniture that we do. But I couldn't have dreamt of that kind of scale a few years ago.
Yeah, I have to agree with Mariusz. It's a little bit complicated to talk about projects. I cannot talk about big project, but at least about an interesting project. And this is for sure. We created a kind of immersive room with a customer. This means many projectors are projecting their showroom, and then it's very easy for the customer to see different furnitures, different objects, whatever, different colored furnitures, and just changing the projector picture, and immediately you have a completely different feeling. And I like that way of demonstrating some goods or some presentations. And for me, immersive rooms are really the most interesting that you can do with a projector currently.
To me, being responsible for the LCD business for EMEA, I really get a lot of different projects across my desk where I can support and assist, also looking out. And a part of the classical meeting room or signage projects that fascinate me most are applications that change our lives or lives of people who really need that in that situation, such as an environment where someone is, I would say from the simplest would be at a dentist, and he has a display hanging over from the ceiling, and making the transition of whatever he needs to do there, being the example of a dentist, making that more comfortable, really applications that cross our lives in the common everyday scenario. Those are the most exciting, because the whole industry always talks about the big scale and selling to a large corporation, and or maybe even ourselves talking to a big law firm, creating a new building and setting that with the whole infrastructure and IT. But to me, the most fascinating projects are the ones that you would never have thought the impact that could have from the little to the larger ones.
Yeah, and also I can agree with what Mariusz said, that the most interesting projects you're not allowed to talk about, unfortunately.
Jörg, you could say something about the sphere.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to mention, even though it was like installed last year, but this is something maybe everybody knows, the sphere in Las Vegas. This was like the first place where our Convert IP products were being used or installed and are still working, so rock solid Matrox products. But this is something really special, it's something amazing if you are part of such a challenging and new technology building like this, so where the hottest stuff from the market is being used. And besides that, a lot of meeting rooms as well, and auditoriums, and fire departments, and whatever. So it's really a wide mixture where our products are being used, but unfortunately, I can't name them.
Okay, because I started that everybody is secret, hidden, and so on. Yeah, sorry for that, because I see that everyone follows.
After you, Mariusz.
After me, yeah. So maybe I will a little bit say something about this. Yeah. So I can say that this year we are happy because really we could take a chance to participate in many projects which cover almost all our portfolio of the products. Yeah, this is also important for us. Yeah, so as you know, the Sharp NEC is offering the display products, so everything what is displaying the pictures. So we have very good projects for the desktop monitors, which starting to be maybe by people thinking, okay, this is boring and so on. So what do you in the desktops? Yeah, but this year we did one of the biggest deal for many years. Yeah, so for the desktop monitors, we are very successful in new products like it is direct LED walls. Yeah, so this is also for us very important. We are, as Gerd said, very successful with the installation projectors. Yeah, so in many sometimes small applications like museums, like immersive and so on. So this is also very important, or some theaters. Yeah, so this is also something that was very successful in 2024, and also as Martin said, a lot of LEDs. LED is still a big part of our sales. Yeah, video walls, but also standalone products, also interactive boards and so on. So I think this is something. But you would like to add something, I see.
What about e-paper? E-paper being an innovation with technology. I think this is.
He asked about the projects. Yeah,
yes.
so
But the projects around
for
that
2024. Yeah,
yes.
The
so
project
this is our
is
future. This is
yes.
our future.
Well, we already had the
is
first
developing,
projects around it.
still
the
developing,
POCs.
better and better. General market data indicates an increase in the market value of the entire industry. What do you think it will look like in 2025?
Data is showing that the market is increasing. Yeah, so this is still a very positive message for all of us, I think. Yeah, so the market data is positive. So I think we should be optimistic looking forward to 25 and the next years. And I think this is also the outlook is for the forecast for the next years positive in almost all product categories. Yeah, so this is not that one product category is dying, the second is increasing. I think the prediction is quite optimistic for all product groups. At least I am talking about the displays. Yeah, but you guys can say something for your industries. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, coming back to the 30 years thing, you know, when I look back at my career to those days when there was only 2 meeting rooms in an office of 6,000 people, and today AV technology as a whole has become absolutely mission critical for every single business. It's become mission critical for all of our communications, and it's only going to get more and more important. And of course, the advances with AI and the technology, and I mean, we think of displays now as being just completely commonplace, and yet 30 years ago we were using these giant CRTs which were almost black. So all of the technology we use on a daily basis completely impacts everybody's lives, all of our customers' lives, all of their end users' lives. And so it's a very exciting industry to be part of. And the way it's just grows year on year is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, for projectors is a little bit different. For the low brightness area, it's going down because it's replaced by displays now. The displays are fantastic and pricing were coming down in the last years. This means up to 5,000-6,000 lumen displays is a perfect choice, and the projector market is going down a little bit in this area. But in the high brightness area, this is still increasing, and this is interesting. High brightness is still a domain for projectors. For sure, also for a direct view LED, projectors and direct view LEDs, but projectors have an advantage that they are more usable also for very special applications. This means for mapping, for morphing, whatever. This is still only possible by projectors. And a large picture, it's set up very quickly and easily by a projector. And therefore, projector market is increasing, still increasing, over 10,000 lumen, but it's a little bit shifting away from the wide UXGA resolution to 4K in future. This means very stable, increasing and shifting a little bit to 4K. This is currently the status of the projector market.
My perspective, I see this more like a technology fusion. We worked for a couple of years now integrating partners' technologies into solutions. So for the LCD market and also technologies coming up, such as e-paper, I think it's no longer thinking about one specific technology, but the integration of a whole. And for that, we see that the market is growing. The expectations of what one product can deliver are also growing, and the compatibility between brands, between technologies, between standards. You mentioned standards a while ago. Standardizing certain projects makes this market grow even faster because you have more players in the game, and for us it's really exciting to see how a market, if we think not 30 years but 4 years back, we had a short scary moment with pandemics, and then we said, okay, how is this going to continue? Technologies and the way we use them changed totally. The way we went to an office changed, and that made the markets change as well. But now we're back at a peak where, as you said, ground zero for technology. This is the place to be, to talk to partners, to work with partners, and seeing this market grow, not by just one product category, but by combining them all. So really exciting times to see this grow.
I see also like a nice future coming or being ahead of us, because after this COVID break and slowdown, I think people really realize that AV over IP technology is key and is proven already. So they're ready to look at it or have a closer look at it and to really invest in this technology. And for Matrox, I mean, we have a nice portfolio already, but we are rounding it up with a couple of new products beginning of next year or even end of this year. And we have a complete IPMX story available, IP KVM extender. We have a distribution solution. We have a distributed video wall solution, a transcoder. Even if you're coming from a different world, we can include you in our idea. So I think it's a really nice portfolio which we will offer, and the market is ready, so let's go for it.
And I think also what also Jörg said, integration of the AT and AV world, that we predicted many years ago, of course, now is maybe not even closer. It is already done. So the projects cannot be done without IT, without AV. So these two words is now together. So I think this is also what will be happen next years. But also I would like to say that I am optimistic for the next years, but also I think we should be also realistic in some facts. It's maybe important to say for the future. We have still the war close to Poland. This is the fact. And we don't know what will happen. So this is also some mark to think about it. Of course, this is also opportunities, because we see here that some problems which is on our borders also increase some demands from the defense, from the monitoring, from the security sides and so on. This is also the challenge for the AV sector, of course, because this is more demand from this sector. Of course, maybe others will decline, but these sectors maybe will increase. Next story we have today on the Middle East. We don't know what will happen, and also we know what happens a few years ago when the Suez Canal was blocked, and the delivery time was now, I don't know, very long, for all deliveries, and how big problem for our industry it was, So the same facts can happen now. It's already happening, because a lot of ships are going around Africa and so on. So this time is much longer than it was past. Cost is much higher. So this also influence our industry. November, we have election in the US, Also, we don't know, what impact will come. Not it is US, but of course we know this also has impact for Europe, So a lot of changes is also in front of us, some question marks, and we cannot ignore it, because we need also to predict something. But anyhow, I think that we should be optimistic,
We should be optimistic. Thank you guys for coming here.
Thank you.
For this debate.
Thank you.
A was zapraszam na inne debaty i rozmowy z NEC Competence Days 2024. Cześć.